Hey, welcome to Manila Updates TV. Please subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. The South China Sea is boiling. Tensions just hit a dangerous new peak. At Sabina Shoal, Chinese Coast Guard vessels unleashed powerful water cannons on Filipino fishing boats, injuring 3 and causing severe damage. This was no warning. It was a direct assault in waters the Philippines claims as its own. Chinese ships then cut the anchor lines, leaving Filipino boats adrift and vulnerable. When the Philippine Coast Guard tried to rescue their citizens, Chinese cutters blocked their path with dangerous maneuvers. These actions were a calculated effort to control the area through force and intimidation. For Manila, this was a deeply alarming escalation. The first time in months that Filipino citizens were physically harmed. Beijing defended its actions as necessary control measures, but to the world, it looked like blatant aggression. The incident has drawn global condemnation and raised urgent questions about the safety of those operating within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. The friction has moved beyond diplomatic spats into physical danger. The events at Sabina Shoal are not isolated. They mark a significant escalation in a long-simmering dispute. The Philippines is trying to assert its sovereign rights, affirmed by international law. China, meanwhile, is determined to enforce its sweeping 9-line claim over nearly the entire South China Sea. This clash of wills has turned the waters into a flashpoint. Every patrol, every fishing trip, now carries the risk of violence. The sea, once a source of livelihood, has become a front line in a tense geopolitical struggle. The stakes have never been higher. Scarborough Shoal is now the epicenter of this maritime power struggle. China's Coast Guard patrols have become a constant, overwhelming force. Recent data shows Chinese patrols nearly doubled in 10 months, peaking at 120 ship days in a single month. This is not just a patrol, it's an occupation. The Philippines struggles to keep pace. Its Navy and Coast Guard stretch thin. For every Philippine vessel, there are several larger, better-equipped Chinese ships. Filipino fishermen are frequently chased away, their livelihoods threatened. Tense encounters now occur more than a dozen days each month, involving aggressive maneuvers and radio challenges. China's sustained presence ensures it dictates the terms on the water. Scarborough Shoal is a microcosm of the broader conflict, smaller nations facing a global power that ignores international law. An international tribunal invalidated China's claims in 2016, but Beijing has dismissed the ruling and doubled down. For the Philippines, the fight for Scarborough Shoal is a fight for sovereignty and the future. It's a battle against a rising tide of Chinese dominance. The outcome will shape the region's balance of power. In the Spratly Islands, another standoff is reaching a boiling point. The focus, the BRP Sierra Madre, a rusting warship grounded by the Philippines in 1999 as a makeshift outpost. Now, China is tightening its grip, deploying a Navy tugboat near the second Thomas Shoal. A direct threat. Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad warned, any attempt to remove the Sierra Madre would cross a red line. This is not just rhetoric, it's a direct challenge, signaling the Philippines is prepared to defend its outpost at all costs. The Sierra Madre, though falling apart, is a powerful symbol of Philippine resilience. Its removal would be a national humiliation and a direct assault on sovereignty. The military is on high alert, monitoring every Chinese move. The fate of this rusting hulk is now a test of national will. The world is watching as the grounded ship becomes the centerpiece of a geopolitical struggle. China's impatience with the status quo is clear. The Philippines' firm response shows it won't be easily intimidated. The standoff encapsulates the entire conflict, a dangerous game where the consequences could be catastrophic. The water cannon attack at Sabina Shoal sent ripples to Washington. The United States swiftly reaffirmed its commitment to the Philippines under the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty. This treaty states that an armed attack on Philippine forces in the South China Sea could trigger a U.S. military response. The message to Beijing was clear: aggression against our ally will not go unanswered. The U.S. has deepened military cooperation with the Philippines, joint patrols, expanded base access, and enhanced defense capabilities. The alliance is active on the seas and in the skies, yet China's aggressive behavior continues, harassing resupply missions, shadowing fishing boats, and maintaining a constant presence. This persistent coercion raises serious questions about regional security and the limits of diplomatic pressure. The strengthened alliance raises the stakes for everyone. While it provides the Philippines with a crucial security backstop, It also increases the risk of a great power confrontation. Any clash could draw the US into direct conflict with China. The security of the Indo-Pacific hangs in the balance. The alliance is both a deterrent and a tripwire for a larger crisis. The South China Sea is now a stage for a dangerous geopolitical drama. The world is watching closely. The sheer number of vessels near Scarborough Shoal has created a tinderbox. With China's near-permanent fleet and the Philippines determined to maintain its presence, close encounters are now routine. Chinese ships engage in dangerous maneuvers, cutting across Philippine bows and using their size to intimidate. The risk of accidental collision or miscalculation has never been higher. The conflict has escalated into the air, with frequent aggressive encounters between Chinese and Philippine aircraft. A mid-air collision or hostile act could have immediate, devastating consequences. The odds of accidental escalation are rising. A minor clash could be misinterpreted as deliberate, forcing a rapid response. Such an event could trigger the US-Philippine Defense Treaty, transforming a regional dispute into a global crisis. The margin for error is almost zero. The region holds its breath, hoping professionalism prevails over pride. China has fundamentally changed its rules of engagement in the South China Sea. Its strategy is now broader and far more aggressive. Previously, Chinese forces focused on high-profile Philippine missions, like resupplying the BRP Sierra Madre. Now, any official Philippine vessel near Scarborough Shoal is a target. Patrols, training, even research ships. This blanket approach means every voyage is fraught with risk. The Philippines can no longer predict where confrontations will occur. China's strategy is to wear down the Philippines, making the cost of operating in its own waters unbearably high. It's a war of attrition, shifting from targeted enforcement to blanket denial of access. Tensions are now dangerously high across a vast maritime zone. The Philippines faces a stark choice: cede control or risk a major incident. The stage is set for a long, perilous standoff. The BRP Sierra Madre is more than a ship. It's a declaration of Philippine sovereignty in the Spratlys. Grounded in 1999, it serves as a military outpost, manned by Marines who endure isolation and hardship. Resupply missions are flashpoints, frequently harassed by Chinese vessels enforcing a blockade. The arrival of a Chinese Navy tugboat signals a new, more perilous phase. The ship's dilapidated condition makes it vulnerable to removal. Defending the Sierra Madre is now a matter of national honor, a line that cannot be crossed. The world is watching to see how far Beijing will push and how firmly Manila will resist. The Marines are the human face of this conflict, living symbols of their nation's resolve. Surrounded by hostile ships, their lifeline is fragile, but they remain. The standoff is a high-stakes test of sovereignty and courage. Facing overwhelming force at sea, the Philippines is fighting back on the legal and diplomatic front. Manila is pushing legislation to formally define its maritime zones, directly challenging China's 9-dash line. By codifying its claims under international law, the Philippines strengthens its position. This builds on the 2016 tribunal ruling that invalidated China's claims, ignored by Beijing, but championed by Manila. Diplomats are building a coalition to support the rule of law at sea. The Philippine Coast Guard publicizes Chinese aggression, winning the information war and exposing Beijing's actions. This transparency has galvanized international support and put China on the defensive. The legal and diplomatic offensive is crucial. It frames the conflict as law versus raw power. Manila's long-term strategy is to level the playing field and win the war for legitimacy. Even if China wins at sea, it risks losing global support. The South China Sea is a tinderbox, and the fuse is getting shorter. China's relentless aggression and the Philippines' resolve have created a dangerously volatile standoff. Every day, the risk of miscalculation grows, pushing the region closer to conflict. The Philippines, backed by the US and international support, is not backing down. Both nations are locked in a test of wills, with little room for de-escalation. A single incident could ignite a wider conflict, threatening global shipping lanes and the Indo-Pacific security. The dispute is a test for the international rules-based order. The world watches, as the calm surface of the sea hides turbulent currents of conflict below.